You're right, guys, it's GameboyLuke here, and today I'm going to show you how to get over 60 to 70 wins in one single night of the ZA Royale. I find it so funny that these new Pokemon games find a way to rope me back into making tutorial-style content. If you guys have been watching the ZA streams or ever look at my socials like Twitter, you'll know that I've sort of cracked the code on how to get a bunch of wins in a single night of the ZA Royale. I think we're also all aware by this point that you need 1,000 wins to complete Mabel's research and therefore get the shiny charm. Now, by no means necessary do I think that this is the fastest method to get those battles, but it's certainly pretty handy. I think if you're looking for the fastest way to get those 1,000 battles, you're better off going to Restaurant Lana for the smaller battles there and just spamming those over and over again. My only issue with doing something like that is it seems quite tedious and can be quite boring because you're literally just, you're battling the same 3 trainers over and over again. It can get really boring. Before I go any further, I do want to give a shout out to Pebblefire, my friend Gabe. He is the one that was basically telling me about this method on stream when I was about halfway through my 1,000 battles. And to be honest, just the idea of doing this was way more fun than just monotonously, just doing what I needed to do to get to those battles. This made it a whole lot more enjoyable for me. Doing your battles through the ZA Royale earns you a bunch of necessary things anyways. I believe in order to access specific post-game content without saying any spoilers, you need to have at least a 15 win streak, I think, on the ZA Royale. So it's helpful for that. Obviously, if you're looking for candy and you're also looking for money, the ZA Royale gives you both of those things because every single time you complete a challenges ticket, you get handed XP candy, and the type of candy and the amount that you get changes depending on how long your streak is. So with this method, you can get, if you're doing well, between 60 to 80 wins a night, and I've even seen some people really min-max this and get to 90. 100 might even be possible at this point. But if you're like me and you're hitting it quite hard, but you're also not giving it 100%, you should be able to get between 60, 70, 80 wins, basically. And you can really go about this 2 different ways too. If you wanted to, you can get the 20 wins for your challenger ticket within the first, I don't know, it might even be the first quarter of the night, and then use that challenger ticket, fly to Quasartico, claim your ticket, do your promotion match or whatever, right? And then fly back to the area and continue to get another 20 wins, and then fly back to Quasartico so you can get your tickets done pretty quickly. Or if you're just trying to get a high score, don't really care about the tickets, you just want to get as many wins as you possibly can, you can just run this route in this one specific ZA Royale area, and again, get between 60 and 80. So basically, the first thing you want to do is obviously have it be night. I often fly to this Pokemon Center here because there's a bench outside of it. So if you need to change it from day to night, you can just sit on this bench. And you might be using this bench a lot because you're looking for a very specific area that the ZA Royale is being held in. I'm not going to do that right now. I am about a third the way through my night currently, but I do have the area unlocked, and it's this one just to the right here. I'm already a third the way through my night, so I'm not going to show you a full run, but I'm going to give you the idea and show you exactly what you need to do, what Pokemon you can use, what moves you need, etc., etc. So I'm going to fly over to the battle zone. There's some very, very important information. Before we actually go in, there's some important information you need to know, okay? Time moves, I believe, only during the time you're spent outside of battles and outside of menus. So essentially, the entire premise of doing this is to spend the least amount of time outside of battles and the most amount of time within battles. And you do this by fighting one trainer and then immediately lining yourself up to fight the next one. And you're basically chaining off of each trainer until the end of the night happens and you've racked up a bunch of wins. Now, that obviously means you can use basically any Pokemon. You are ultimately worried about the time you spend outside of battle. So if you have a team of weaker Pokemon or Pokemon that aren't fully evolved, fully leveled up, whatever, and you're struggling with some of the battles, but you're still getting through, it shouldn't matter too much. Obviously, it means you're gonna have to spend time healing, but again, when you're in a menu, the day is not counting down. And for those that don't know, actually, in the top left corner, you can see the little red ring around the map. That is how much time is left in my night. A lot of people didn't know this, but there it is right there, just so you know. One move I think that you absolutely need to have on a Pokemon is what I would call a priority move, but obviously because we're in Legends ZA, they're not really priority moves, but most priority moves act in a way where if you use Aqua Jet or you use E-Speed or you use Quick Attack, you dash, the Pokemon dashes in the face of the Pokemon and strikes them. Now, if you're quite far away from the next trainer, sometimes it's faster to lock onto their Pokemon and just Aqua Jet or E-Speed them because it will initiate the battle much quicker. And then you just give your Pokemon 3 coverage moves. Right now, I'm just running this with Feraligatr. I do believe that Dragonite would be better and might even get better times because Dragonite, it can fly. Sometimes, you know, most often the time, actually, Feraligatr will just fall off the roof. So I do think that maybe Dragonite will be a better option this because it still gets priority and it also gets a bunch of coverage moves. But that's only really if you're trying to get like a really good score, right? You can do this with a Pokemon that isn't like optimal and still get 60 or 70 wins. You know, I understand that, like, you know, when you're at this point in the game, you may not have all the candies. You may not have like a way to EV train or the money to level up a Pokemon, right? So a Pokemon that you've had on your team throughout your playthrough should do just fine. I'm actually just using my in-game Feraligatr right now. It doesn't really matter what you use. I think when I was doing this as well, I think I was like level 70. So you don't even have to be level 100 necessarily. Again, what happens in the battles does not really matter. You might need healing items, obviously, if you are taking a lot of damage because you need to keep the Pokemon alive. But again, it doesn't matter that you have to heal them because the time doesn't move during that moment. I also just give my Feraligatr a Shell Bell too because every single time I strike a Pokemon, I just get HP back. I say save time. Saving time more like real life time than in-game time, really. But yeah, so let's get into it. Let me just show you a basic idea of what we're supposed to do. So we're going to head inside this battle zone. And normally there is a trainer that spawns either in front of us here or to the side of us. And you don't really care too much about like collecting cards or anything like that. You can if you want, but realistically, you want to basically start the fights as fast as you possibly can. And that might be by walking in front of the trainer's view, or it might be targeting the Pokemon and Aqua Jetting it, or like, you know, E-Speeding it, or whatever it might be. And just so you know, if you do have E-Speed, it still starts the battle, even if like a Ghost-type Pokemon is immune to a normal-type move, you can still start the battle. So what's important here is normally, and I know this route already, I'll run the route in a second, but essentially, to my right, there will be another trainer that spawns in around that area. So I really ideally want to kill this Sableye with a move that's a little bit slower. Earthquake is a great example for this. I'm going to attack the Sableye, put it low, use Earthquake, and then begin sort of like bringing her towards this side, because I know another trainer spawns around here. So the Sableye is honestly a really bad example here, but it's going to recover after this. But if I hit the Earthquake and I start running... Okay, so she used Recover. So I'm going to wait. He's going to Shadow Ball me. We're bringing her around here. I'm going to Earthquake, and it dies. And now we've already made ourselves around the corner, and a trainer usually spawns around here. And bear in mind, I'm moving during the battle, so no time has passed, right? So I've gotten my first win. Another trainer normally spawns around here, so there's another one here. And obviously, I can step into their line of sight, or with my Feraligatr, which is now dead, by the way. Hold on, so let me just heal him up. So now with my Feraligatr out, I can just Aqua Jet, start making my way this way, and the battle immediately starts, right? Now, unfortunately, Roserane's kind of like a long-range Pokemon, but as you can see, they will run towards you. So you can get the kill and start moving in the direction that you need to move, and you're basically chaining trainers and trying to move around this route as fast as you possibly can, right? So I'm going to bait this Ordinary. I'm going to Aqua Jet her first, just to get her low. She's going to double edge, which is always good. And I should be able to just kill it with an Earthquake and make my way. So I'm walking away from the trainer as fast as I possibly can, whilst also still being in a battle with them. One thing I forgot to mention is that battles will end if you travel too far away from the opposing trainer. So don't go too far so that they sort of like leave your screen. Do it within reason. Obviously, the more that you do it, the more that you'll understand what this range is. And even I sometimes do it during my battles, but it's an important note. Let me do one more just to see if there's another one around here. So there's sometimes one that spawns up here. We get round here. Now there's two options. You can see there's one to my left right here, and there's one that normally spawns there. Now you can honestly figure out the best route for you. For me, I would normally go this way, lock onto the trainer, Aqua Jet it, start the fight, and then try to bring them around this way and then fight the next trainer or get inside their line of sight. Or you can do this one first and then fight the Simipour later on down the route. It just depends on what your preference is, really. So we'll just do the way I do it. So normally I'll Aqua Jet this trainer. And as we've walked past it, we obviously know that Phalanx trainer is around this corner. But they're not currently spawned in because we're in a battle. So what we'll do is we'll bait the Simipour trainer around this way. He's got a Barbaracle now. Earthquake probably one-shots this thing. So let's walk him over this way. I can just hit Earthquake. I'm going to start walking. obviously kills it. And now that it's dead, it's the second I walk around this corner, there's another trainer. The battle starts almost immediately. I have spent the minimum amount of time outside of battle. And that is the idea. So I'm going to kill this Phalanx. Now, when it comes to the route, the Pangoro spawns. Okay, cool. We're going to walk this way. There's normally a trainer that spawns around here. So we've gotten quite low with the liquidation, with Earthquake. And we actually want to double back on ourselves. We don't even want to go this way, but there's usually a trainer that spawns here that you want to chain off of and then bring them underneath the scaffolding that you can see behind me. And as you can see, there's one there. I'm not going to fight them. I'm just going to do the route for you guys. But essentially, the direction that you run at the end of the battle will be the direction that you face. So after you come out of the battle, you can just hold forward, right? So if I end the battle like this, I then will spawn facing this way, and I can just run to do the rest of the route. So we cleared this. Obviously, this is where that Simipour trainer was. I could fight that Simipour trainer right now if I wanted to, but I fought them beforehand. There's usually a trainer right here, so there might be a way, or maybe a better method where you sort of chain from the trainer that's like over there to one over here, then onto this one, and then you run through here and fight this trainer. Okay, it's either her or there's one on the left here. And you really do, like, begin to learn the spawns. You begin to learn what Pokemon have, which trainers have what Pokemon. It's really, really handy. Quite often the case, I will start the fight with these two here and pull them down here. There's normally one that stood on the staircase. There can be one stood on the grass here. I'm going to try and get around this guy. Then there's a trainer that can spawn there. There's always one that spawns either here or there. And as you get later into the night, the spawns, I mean, I've gone so fast to the point where Pokemon trainers just stop spawning, which is a little bit unfortunate. So you need a little bit of RNG. What you can do to help is just fly back to the battle zone. But there's one right there. Let's see if I can get away from her. There's one that spawns right here. After you beat the two trainers that might spawn here, you sort of jump across here. There's obviously the Carbink trainer. You want to drag them all the way over across here. Then there's this Electros trainer right here. And one thing that's really important, I find, that saves a lot of time. Let's start a fight with this trainer real fast. It really is, and it feels like a speedrunning thing. It really, really does feel like it. So as you can see, that guy's on his last Pokemon. Now, what I want to do is I want to get the last hit on this with this Feraligatr on this camera as I jump off the roof. Because if I jumped off the roof right now, Rotom would come and save me. And there's a little bit of lag between when I can actually move. You know, obviously, if the battle ends, the timer starts going again because the night is continuing to proceed. If I jump off the roof the same time that I kill Camerupt, there's no animation that plays. And I'll show you that right now. So I like to stand on the edge of this, and then I'll target, I'll Earthquake, and I'll jump. I killed him as I fell off the edge of the roof. And as you can see, the camera's free, and I'm able to continue as normal. And as you can see, we are basically back at the very beginning, and this is just one big, massive circle. A couple of things you need to worry about. So normally, okay, so this trainer fortunately spawned in immediately for me right now. Quite often the case will be is that I'll run on to go and do the rest of what I need to do, and that trainer won't spawn in. So I will have to fight this trainer first, turn around, and then that trainer will spawn back in. But that's just the premise of it. You're doing a big circle around this ZA Royale, and you're doing your absolute best to be in a battle at every single point of doing it. I can throw up some clips from my streams. I did a run yesterday. I think I got to like 77 wins or 75 wins or something like that. And I spent maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes doing it. Now, the reason I prefer doing this is because it's quite fun. It's quite fun min-maxing. It's quite fun getting a high score and seeing like what, like if you can beat it next time or what Pokemon might be better. And honestly, me making this video and talking about it with you guys, realistically, if more people know about this strategy, the more optimized it becomes, which was another reason why I wanted to make this video. Like something I did, I think actually, when I did the Scarlet and Violet video about the money-making thing, a lot of people came up with better ideas than what we had. Obviously, this is just like a base of it. And honestly, just because I'm doing it in this area doesn't mean people won't find a better route to do. I like this one because it's the one that Gabe showed me. You can do a perfect loop around the area and start back from where you began and just do the same thing again. And like I said, if you get to 20 wins, you can fly straight to Quasartico, do your ticket, do the battle with the person that your challenger ticket gets a battle with, and then just fly straight back here and do it all over again. I did this, I think, last night when I wasn't on stream, and I got to like 70 wins yesterday and managed to get 3 of my tickets done. And I think, I don't know if it shows me specifically on this screen. It doesn't, no. But I have like 24, 25 wins on Quasartico right now, and I want to grind because unfortunately, there is titles. So if I select this title, you can go over to Infinite Trainer, and you need 40 wins, or yeah, 40 win streak or a 60 win streak in order to unlock the titles to this. I know this is something really small. Most people aren't going to grind for this, but it can be handy for that because getting 60 of these is going to take a long time, right? So, yeah, I think that this is a solid strat. It's actually a lot of fun to do once you sort of like get in the swing of things. Trying to maximize how many battles you can get in one area is a lot of fun. That's essentially it. I don't think I've missed anything, and if I have, it'll be edited in post anyways. But essentially, the golden rules you need is a Pokemon with a quick move. I guess I could call it that. Priority move, Aqua Jet, E-Speed, Quick Attack. I don't even know what... Shadow Sneak. I don't even know if that one even is like a priority move. But Aqua Jet and E-Speed I know do work. Then you need... It could be done essentially with any Pokemon. It doesn't really matter. I would probably... If you're using a weaker mon, it might be a bit more difficult for you. And you feel like you might be spending more time in the battles. Obviously, if you have a stronger Pokemon, it's going to take way less time to do. And that being said, if you do more of these and do more tickets, you'll get more candy so you can get your Pokemon to level 100 quicker anyways. And the golden rule, just stay in battle as much as you can. Try to bait the trainers that you're fighting along the way to the next battle so that the night is prolonged and you get more battles going. Like I said, I think like a night, if you do it this way, you'll spend 45 minutes to an hour and you'll get roughly 60. So again, like I said, like 90 battles, depending on how efficient you are, essentially. But yeah, if this helped you and you got some crazy numbers, let me know in the comment section below. Definitely tweet them at me. I really, really hope this helped you guys. But yeah, have fun with it, and I'll catch you guys next time.